right, so you have your book on your mat. We're gonna roll our shoulders up, back and down a couple times. Make that shoulder roll a little bit bigger. Use those elbows, stepping side to side, just gently, getting a little bit bigger movement, and start to move one arm at a time, like you're doing a backstroke. And then we'll do both arms. And then we'll pull them back and down, and we'll step touch. Kind of come over close to your book. And then turn that step touch into a step up. Two more. Beautiful. Go around to the other side, or you can go up and over. Get your step touch going again. And then when you're ready, that step touch turns into a step up. Whatever you want to do with your arms is actually fine. Four more. This time, if you can, if your book allows, go up and over. And we step touch on the other side. Keep those arms kind of running arms and add your knee lift. Turn that into a hamstring curl. Squeeze those shoulders. And then turn that into a leg extension with arms. Two more. Go back to your tap up, just four. Then you have your knee lift for four. Then you have your hamstring curl and squeeze for four. Extension for four. Cutting everything in half, two taps. Two knees. Two curls. Two extensions. One of each. One tap. One knee. One curl. One lift. And up and over you go. Stepping up on the other side. Turn that into your knee lift. And turn that into your curl with your squeeze. Rowing squeeze. And then extensions. Now we have four taps. Four knees. Four curls. Four extensions. Oops, did I do the hamstring curl? I don't know. I think I did, hopefully. When you're ready, 2 of everything, 2 taps. 2 knees. I did do 2 curls. 2 curls. 2 extensions. And then 1 of everything. 1 tap. 1 knee. 1 curl. 1 extension. Woo! All right. Just tapping, kind of straddling that hook for now. Wide stance. Roll those shoulders. And then let's drop it down. Roll through your cat and your cow a couple times. Moving through that spine. Drop that right shoulder in, look up over your left. Press that right leg open. Back through center, other way. Back through center, first side. And second side. Big deep breath in. And relax that down. All right. Coming back up on your hook, if you need your chair. Apparently I don't have my chair, but bring it there if you need that for balance. Put that right foot up on the book. Left foot is flexed back, and we're going to do that little tap down, right? So that heel barely touches the ground. You're not putting any weight on it. This is all happening. David, you've been drinking this morning? What is this? Sorry. It's going to make you want to turn your camera off. I'm just teasing. So you bend and straighten that right leg. Left heel barely taps. 2 more like that. All right, and then leave that left leg hovering in space. This is that little hip touch. So I'm going to let my hip sway a little bit over to the right, and then I'm going to lift it up under me. I'm going to let it drop and lift, drop and lift. My left leg is moving only because of what I'm doing in my hips, right? My hips go there, and then they come here. They go over, they lift up, drop and lift. You should definitely feel this, ouch, in that right glute already. I do. If I do, then we'll be done sooner. 2 more. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna step up on that hook with your left foot. Right foot hovers in space. Left knee bends so the right heel can tap, and then we straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Working that quad. Keep that going. Almost there. I forgot my bow tie. All right, and now we're going to leave that. Right leg hovers, left hip is going to sit over and then tuck under, sit over and tuck under. So again, the movement is the hip moving, right? My right leg might move, but it's all because of what's going on in that left hip. Shoot that hip underneath you, let it go to the side, shoot it under you. Ow. And relax. Let's go ahead and stretch those hips out before the next thing we do. So we're going to cross that right leg over to the left first. Arms go up and over, push the hips over to the right, lengthen, come on down, widen those knees a little bit so you can bend them. Roll through your cat, inhale through your cow. Left hand stays where it is, right arm lifts you up and over, and then we'll cross the other way. Left over right, hips go to the left, arms go to the right, push that hip over, get that big stretch, then turn slightly, bend the knees, roll cat, inhale cow. Left hand stays where it, right hand stays where it is, left arm lifts you up and over. All right, now let's just get some pure quad work. So right foot is back up on that book. You're going to bend that right knee so you can slide your left toes forward and drag them back. Slide them forward and drag them back. Forward and back. Now, you can leave your arms here, here. They can be out here. You can do an arm movement if you want. 2 more like this. Beautiful. Same thing, leg reaches to the side as you sit back with your booty. Again, arms can stay, be here, whatever you want. more. And now as that leg goes to the back, try and keep it really straight. That right knee will bend, those left toes will stretch back and then come forward. This is the one where if you add a lengthened out arm on either the same side or the opposite side, or both arms, you're gonna really feel that increase in your glutes. I'm not gonna do that, but you can. Really tap that toe back, reaching back. Woo! Couple more here. Beautiful. All right, here we go. All four directions. We're gonna go forward for 4, 3, 2, ouch, and 1. To the side for 4, 3. Good, last one. I hope you're feeling this. Reach it back for 4, 3, ouch, 2, and 1. And then we go forward for 2. Good, to the side for 2. And to the back for 2. And 1 time each way. Front, side, back, up. Come off of that book. Cross that right leg over. We're gonna do that same little stretch for a moment. Arm up and over. And then bend into it. This time, a little test of your balance. You're gonna cross that leg open a little bit and then stick that booty out and tuck it under. You can leave the foot on the ground, but keep the knee out to try and get that outer hip stretch. If that's too challenging, find something, grab it. And basically it's our thread the needle stretch, our pigeon stretch. All right, we get to do all of that on the other side. So left foot is up on your book, abs in. We reach to the front, toe taps and slides back again. Arms can do whatever you want or nothing. And then they go to the side, reaching. Again, arms can be here, out here, movement with them if you want. And then we go to the back, but you're doing your best to straighten that right leg as you reach back, bend that left knee. Again, this is where a straight arm up above your head will increase that work. You don't have to. Good, and then we go to the front for 4. To the side for 4. To the back for 4. To the front for 2. To the side for 2. To the back for 2. And 1 in each direction, front, side, and back. Oh, ow, left hip over right, reach, and then a couple different options here. You can separate those knees and push that hip back, but if it's just easier to find some balance point, and stick that hip out and roll it under a couple times, that might be even more lovely. All right, and then a little calf work. So we're gonna bring a book near someplace that you'll need for balance. Left toes follow the foot and most of the arch are gonna be on the book. Right foot in front, but hovering in space. We're gonna lift and lower that heel. Try and get the heel below the book. I'm not actually gonna do that one today. So below and then even, below and then even, below and even, one more, below, even. You can come heel even with the book and go above it, even, above it, even, above it, even, above it, even. 2 more, up, up. And then you're gonna try to go heel all the way down, heel all the way up, right? Heel all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, and all the way up. Hopefully you're feeling this by now. We're just gonna do 4 more for that left calf. Woo! All right. Put your right foot down, slide it so it's about even with the book. Drop your left heel off. And make sure your hips are tucked under to get a stretch in that left leg, left calf. Slide it back a little more, so it's more as if just the toes are on the book, and drop that heel. And then bend that left knee to take this deeper into your soleus muscle, but keep dropping the heel. And then turn your toes out and your heel in, drop the heel. Bend the knee. Toes turn in, heel turns out, press that heel down. And bend your knee. Woo, we get to do the right leg. So most of the right foot is up on the book. Heel is hanging off and maybe a little bit of arch, left leg in space. Heel goes below the book, even, below and even, below even, below even, one more below even. And now it comes even to above, even to above, even to above, one more even to above. Now it goes below the book, through center and over, down, center and up, down, center and up. Two more. Beautiful. Left foot comes down on the ground, kind of even with the book. Slide that right foot off, drop the heel, feel that stretch. Make sure your booty's tucked under. Bend that knee for a little deeper stretch. Toes are going to roll out, heel in, drop it. Bend the knee. And then we'll turn that toe in, heel out, drop it, and bend it. And shake that out. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna continue to use the manual. So this one, it gets a little tricky depending on how slippery your pants and your book are. So you're gonna try to put that book behind your right leg and hold it there. And it will help because you're gonna try to go parallel. Flex through the heel, bend that left knee a lot, push the heel to the sky, push the heel to the sky. You're gonna be using your chair for this, right? So you're gonna be, sorry, babe. You're gonna be more like this. Can you wear the bow? I'm easily entertained. Yeah, you can play with it. Okay. Meanwhile, you guys are working, right? Push that heel up, push that heel up, push that heel up. You should feel this in your right hamstring. If your book is slippery, you know you can do this almost as much effort just without the book, right? Two more. Good. And now squeeze the book if you can. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Move that book. You can just kind of put it off to the side for a second. Take that right leg, step it forward and out to the right. Bend the left knee, send your hips back. Roll those toes up and roll them back down. Roll them back up and roll them back down. Bend that knee, bring yourself up. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. I'm not going to try and hold that book right now. Book goes behind your left leg, flex to that heel, bend your right knee. Try and get your torso parallel with the ground, abs in, flex to the heel and push, and push, and push, and push. Good, leave that leg up there, give it a squeeze in, hamstring curl, curl, curl. And bring that up. Once again, we'll step forward with the left leg, toes out to the side, send those hips back, bend that right knee, roll those left toes up, roll them down, and stand back up. All right, this one, standing, but again, a little more challenging. We might not be able to hold the book as well. You might have a hand to help you, or you can see if you're able to hold it, again, behind your leg. Not happening for me today, because it's going to pivot to the side. My knee was way too far out front, so bring it behind the left knee in terms of being parallel or slightly behind, and then lift it up. So I'm going to just help a little, hold it in place with my hand, but I'm still squeezing. and relax. We'll stretch that in a minute. Let's just do that left side. So hold it behind you. Again, little assistance if you want. Keep that going. Almost there. And relax. All right, now we're going to do that pure stretch. So right ankle crosses over left leg. Push those hips back. Long spine. Roll those hips under. And then press them out again. Roll them under. And stand up tall. Right leg over left. One more stretch. Arms left. And then we'll do the other side. So left ankle crosses your right thigh. Sit into it. Sit that booty back. Get that long stretch. Curl it under. Extend it out. Curl it under. Extend it out. Cross it over. Arms go up and over. All righty. We're going to head down to the ground. Bring your book with you, of course, please. Oh, no, we're not. Sorry. Good. Nobody's down yet. Perfect. My mistake. Come back to center. You're going to go wide stance, plie stance. Toes are turned out. Book is with you. Pull yourself down into that little plie position. Put the book in your palms. Serve your platter and back. Elbows graze your rib cage as you come back. Adding on if you want. Stand up as you lift the book. Sit back into your plie. So up and down. Option to come up on your toes either the whole time or when you come up. Totally up to you. You should be getting some bicep, some front of the shoulder, quads, glutes. 2 more. Then you're going to sit down with the book straight, arms straight, lift 1 inch. Arms nice and straight, lifting up and down, just 1 inch, staying deep in your plie. If you want to, roll up on those toes. A dog just crashed across Carol's screen, I think. I hope it was a dog. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Bend and straight, straight. Polish off those biceps. Straight it, straight, straight. Serve that Irish whiskey. Straight, 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 and relax. Woo, now that book will come down. Left arm, we're going to open. We're going to flex through that palm. We're going to let it pivot a little bit behind us, opening up that chest and that bicep. Come back through center. Right arm, flex through the heel of the hand. Reach back, give a little pivot, and shake that out. All right, book is down on your mat. Let's come down to a seated position on top of that, please. Let's have left knee in, wrap yourself tightly with that knee so that your rib and your thigh are touching. Right leg off to the side, pivot open a little bit, move it a little off to the side, point your toes, flex your heel, point and flex. Listen up, a little bit different this time. Abs in, with this leg in that position, you're going to drag it back and then press it out. Drag it back and press it out. Actually, let's straighten the foot so you're not rubbing the calluses off the outside of your heel, but on the back of your heel. So you're bending it using some hamstring as you drag it in. You're pressing it straight using some quads to straighten it. Pull it in, straighten it out. Pull it in, straighten out. This should allow you to be sitting very nice and tall, and hopefully you will start feeling this in your quad and your glute and your hamstring. You might feel this some in your hip flexor. We'll take care of that in a moment. 2 more times. And then all we're going to do is lift the leg off the ground and do the exact same motion. Flexing through the heel, pressing straight and bending, pressing straight and bending, press straight and bending. You should really feel these by now. 3, 2, and 1. Ah. All right, so you're going to stay on that book with your left hip, bend that left knee, take that right leg, tuck it behind you, big tuck. Try and get the knee way behind the hip. And you should already feel that. And then we're gonna take the elbow, walk it back. And that should really lengthen that stretch down your whole hip flexor. Arm up and over, reaching, opening a little bit to the back, coming a little bit even. Then drop that hand down as you get a little rotation here. And then lift it back up and come on up. And let's see about doing that on the other side. So right knee comes in, left leg is off to the side, but toes are gonna point straight up. Learn that. Hug that knee in, drag your heel back, feel some hamstring, press it out, flatten that leg, try and get that knee, back of the knee close to the ground, press through the quad, sit tall, right? You don't want to be slumpy, sit nice and tall, drag and press down. Drag back, hamstring, press down, quad, drag and press, and drag and press. Keep going, dragging and pressing, couple more. Good, and now we lift it off the ground and do that same thing. Woo! Suddenly feels very tight, doesn't it? 2 more. Leave that right hip on the book, right knee is gonna bend, left leg is gonna go behind you, and then you're probably leaning forward. So slide that elbow back so that you get that beautiful long stretch down your spine, down your hip flexor. And then open a little to the back to center, turn, pivot, and then lift it up. Woo! Now you're gonna come off that book toward the front of your mat for me, please. Knees are bent. You're gonna grab that book and you're gonna lift it up in front of you, making sure that you're not at all rounded through the spine. So lift as much as possible. Then exhale, hinge it back and see if you could lift it 2 more inches on that back position. Lower it just the tiniest bit as you come up. So I want you to really think about keeping your shoulders down your spine, keeping your abs and your ribs pulled in, making sure that when you go back, you don't do this, right? So try to avoid this. See this position where I'm rounded and my book came in front of me? You're trying to avoid that. Now, if your book won't go up way up here, just lift it 2 inches and then lower it 2 inches, right? Just make it as pretty as possible, as always. And relax. Grab your knees, give yourself a hinge forward, and then you get to slump and relax that upper back. Then we're going to grab that book as we roll back down onto our spine, knees are bent. We're going to put that book underneath our hands, and palms are going to reach up towards the ceiling, back of the hand, knuckles on the ground. Deep breath in, exhale, flatten your ribs to lift the book up about 2 inches. Inhale, let it tap down. Exhale, flatten the ribs to lift it. Inhale, exhale, right? So it's a big move through the rib cage and the hips. Try and move the ribs before you move the hips, so it's not just tucking your hips under like that. It's ribs flatten and then, right? Couple more. You'll feel a little tricep action too. 2 more. And then leave that book where it is. Bend your elbows, straighten, straighten, straighten. Keep your ribs down as you do this tricep work. Keep going, please. Pressing straight, 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 straight. Again, tricep action. Ribs pulled down so you're getting that ab work, and relax. Bring that book over onto your ribs. Take a little break, arms out to the side. Matter of fact, let's take one hand, bring it that way, palms face, or excuse me, fingers facing you to give yourself a little tricep stretch. Good, and then the other hand. And relax, shake all that out. All right, book is resting on your ribs to give you that awareness. Deep breath in, exhale, stack your legs in tabletop. Inhale to prepare for toe touches, and exhale, one leg at a time, moves forward and away, tap your toe. Make sure that book, you're feeling that awareness there. You can make it a heel flex if you want. And of course, you can lower both legs at the same time for your toe touch. It could be toes touching, or it could be heels touching. For more challenge, you can pivot the heels together and the toes apart, the knees open in that froggy position. So we've got a wider lever, a little more resistance. And of course, you can straighten out your legs and do single leg double or single leg lower, or legs together, double leg lower. But all the time, having awareness of that book on your rib cage. And then we're going to bend those knees, give them a nice little tug in. Let's take that book on top of the shins to increase that low back stretch. All right, now we're going to do that slippery book thing again. Hopefully this position might be a little easier to hold that book between your knees and your shins. Arms out into a T position. Remember how the book felt being on your ribs. So pull those ribs down and then start with a very small motion, side to side. If you're feeling okay and your spine's okay with it, make that motion a little bit bigger. Keep your toes where you can see them as you come back to center. Keep that chest nice and open, abs in, ribs pulled down. Hopefully you're feeling these by now. And relax. Again, bring that book onto your shins to get a nice stretch through that low back. Maybe take a little rock side to side. You're going to do this next one, or probably not. You're going to slide that book down towards your ankles and start rolling like a ball, forward and back. If rolling isn't good for you, just do a little more side to side. If you're rolling up and down, eventually meet me up and then sit up on that book for me. Slide those legs out. We'll do that pure version of spine stretch this time. Because I'm sitting up on that book, that really helps elongate that spine, right? So stay lifted up out of your hips. Think about, you don't want to be able to see your hips. You want a little crease there. So go ahead and create that crease with knees bent. And then pull yourself forward, back of the neck in line with your spine. And then you can stay there. You can start to shimmy out your feet. See if you can get those legs a little straighter. Maybe you reach your arms forward. Maybe you reach them up a little bit. And then sit up nice and tall. All right, pivoting over onto one side, bring that book with you. Bend your knees into your 90-degree angles. Head is resting on your arm and your head is down. Stack your hips, stack your knees, stack your ankles. Put the book on your top leg and put your hand on it. Lift your waistline, drop it down. Lift it up, drop it down. Lift it up, drop it down. Now lift that waist and leave it there. And then that left leg is going to come up in that beautiful 90-degree angle. Beautiful. Pivot the heels together, toes apart. Now pivot the knees open. Two more. And now the knees will stay down, the hips, the heels lift in the air, and we pivot open from there. And relax. Ooh, that should feel good. Put your book down. Whichever leg was on top, leave it in front and put your opposite glute on the book, right? So the leg that was working is out front. And then I'm going to straighten what was the bottom leg underneath. But my working leg, hip, is off the book. Keep that hanging in space, cross it over. So I want you to think about letting it drop down and yet even it up. Let it drop down, even it up. One more time, drop, and then even it up. So what we're doing is making sure that you don't roll off of the hip, which is what we do a lot of times to kind of, the body wants to avoid this stretch, but this should feel really good. This glute is just hanging in space and I'm pulling it across. It should be a nice stretch for that outer hip. And then go ahead and slide onto the book even, pivot that knee open and sit tall. And you can hinge forward. Let's give it a hinge and then pull your belly button in, roll back, sit tall, hinge forward. Pull the belly button in, roll back one more time, sit tall, hinge forward. All right, the knee that's bent is gonna go underneath you. And that should put you on your opposite side for clam on the other side. So knee stack, hip stack, top hand is resting on that book, holding it in place, waistline off the ground, and leg lifts as a unit. Beautiful. Heels together, pivot open. And then knees down, heels in the air, pivot open. And relax. All right, so as you come up, the bottom leg can straighten. And then slide that bottom hip up onto the book, but let the leg that you just worked be out in space, right? So as if I'm gonna fall over. I'm gonna cross it over, and then again, you wanna pull it across, but let it drop down. Pull it up, let it drop. Pull it up, let it drop, and now kind of do the same thing. I'm gonna pull up, but I'm gonna let the hip relax. I'm not gonna put it all the way down on the ground, but I'm just gonna let it hang in space for a deeper stretch. And then square yourself up, let that leg pivot open, deeper stretch. You can hinge forward if that would feel good. And relax. All right, simple side plank. We're gonna put the book where our feet normally would be. And your elbow, try and line it up with your hip and try and line your hip up with your ankle. So I'm a little behind, so I'm gonna pull my hip forward, but then my shoulder came forward, so I'm gonna open that back, shoulder back, and then whatever version of side plank you wanna do, lift it up and hold. Just simple hold. You can reach that arm overhead if you want. Think about lifting that hip a little extra. Remember, because your foot is on that book, your hips have to be higher. And relax. Same thing, other side, so just go ahead and pivot around. Look at the bottom of your mat. Bottom leg, hip, try and line those up. Try and line that elbow and that shoulder up, and then bring it up. And gently down. All right, let's leave that book off the front of your mat and come on over onto your abs for me, please. And we're gonna put our hands on that book, on top. Toes are pointed, kneecaps are lifted, abs are pulled in, deep breath in. Exhale, press down, pull your belly button in. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Hold at the moment, and then exhale down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, press down. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And exhale down. Hopefully your book is sliding on the ground somewhat easily. If it's not, you might have to kind of flip it like that instead. Don't know if you could see that. and relax. Let's go ahead, push back into your resting position. So you're going to go ahead and put your hips back on your heels. Take a little break, a little breather. And then as you come forward, you're going to tuck your toes and put them on that book, elbows and hands apart, and you're in your regular plank. Only your feet are lifted, so you have to really think about pulling those abs in, pulling those ribs in, back of the neck is long, stay strong. And relax. All right, beautiful. Spin on over onto your spine for me, please. Take that book behind your right leg, behind the hamstring, and pull that in. Try and get the rib and the thigh touching. I'm going to use my hands on the outsides of the book to really pull that leg in, get a deeper, deeper stretch. I'm going to let it drop over to the right a little bit. And then maybe back through center and then over to the right. And then while I'm there, let's start some ankle circles, both directions, point and flex. And then flip your book. So it's still pressing your hamstring down, but it's also pushing up against your shin. And then as you point and flex, you might even feel the edge of the book against the belly of that muscle for a little extra love. Then slide that back through center, point, and take your left leg out on the ground, flex, try and straighten it out. Bring yourself up to that right leg, point your toe, bring it even closer. How close can you get your nose and your knee? Flex through the heel, come down. Take the book on the outside of the leg, right arm to the side, let that left leg drop just a couple inches over to the right with the hip, with the book on that outer hip for a different stretch, and then bend it and let it come all the way over. You can leave the book over there for now. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, bring that in, and let's thread the needle here and point and flex through that left foot with some movement. Then bend that left knee, hug it in even closer. Use your right elbow to press the right knee open. Little rock side to side, changing the angle of that stretch. You can bend your elbows more to pull the knee closer and let it move away. And then finally, right over left, you have your book over there. So if you want to do a smaller twist, the legs can land on that book. If you want full twist, move the book away. And if you want to just have a hip stretch, then you're not even going to twist those legs all the way over. And then as you come back to center, untangle and bring that book behind your left leg. And once again, we're going to use the edges of the book so that we can really pull that knee into the chest, get that beautiful deep stretch, get some movement through the ankle, and pointing and flexing. And then we're going to flip that book. So we're pushing down and pushing up against the shin. And again, some movement through that foot might give us a little sensation. And then we'll bring everything back through center, straighten out that leg, lift it up, straighten the right leg out on the ground, flex through that heel, bend your elbows, pull that left knee closer, flex through the heel, book goes on the outside of that leg, hip stretch. You can bend it, and if you want, you can twist it all the way over. And then that book can stay on that right side. And then we'll thread the needle, right leg supports the left ankle, movement through that right foot. And then bend that knee, bring it closer and use the left elbow to push open. And then left leg all the way over the right. And you can do that miniature twist till you feel the stretch. You can let the knees drop onto the book. Whatever feels best to you. And then eventually meet me over on your hands and knees, please. Hands out front, undulate through your cat-cow. Beautiful. And then we'll tuck those toes, We'll press those hips up, pedal out those feet. Wider stance. Walk it backward, yes, and shake no. Bend those knees, roll through cat. Inhale through cow. Big deep breath in. For tease. Thank you.